My family have been fishing for 3 generations along this part of the coast. I first started going with my dad when I was just a toddler. He used to chuck me in the front of the boat when the weather was fine. We live right just at the back of the beach bank, so it was just a sort of stroll up the road, up to the beach where the boat was laid, and we'd push off, spend our day at sea, no cares in the world at all, really. We had obviously the weather to contend with, as well as seasonal fisheries, but fishing always excited me. It's just in my blood, and it's just what I wanted always to do. In the late 80s, we had heard a rumour that they were going to build a harbour on Langley Point, and in fact we were invited to a meeting with Tarmac, who were going to be the developers at that time. They were quite happy for us, the fishing fleet, the local fishing fleet, to come in to the harbour to work, and promised us sort of peppercorn moorings, all the facilities that we could ever want, really. So most of the boats along this part of the coast said, really, yeah, we'd like to come in and work out of here. It wasn't until sort of a few years later, after they started to do the development, and we asked when they were going to start building out the fishing quarter for us. They said, oh, it'll be a couple of 3 years before they start, and then that couple of 3 years passed, and then it went on, and then after about 25 years, we really thought that this is not going to happen. And what actually underlined that was that we had a letter. All the fishermen on the quay here had a letter saying we need all this fishing gear moved off the site by, I think they gave us about a month's notice. They said that they wanted to develop this site for housing, and that we would have to move everything. They just wanted a mirror image, the same as the development on the opposite side to the quay there. So for once, fishermen all got together and dug their heels in and said, if we can try and do something about this, because the livelihoods of the fishermen here, it would be impossible for us to make the living the way we do now. Without the modernisation of the fisherman's quay, I think that the future for the fleet as a whole was probably not great. A few fishermen would have been able to carry on, but there was no real long-term future, I think. I spoke to the head of our Fishermen's Association. He suggested that I get in contact with NEF, as they were actually helping small-scale fishermen access European Marine and Fisheries Fund, and we got 80% funding. We went to East Sussex County Council. There was a funding opportunity there, and they've offered both funding and a grant. We're also, at the moment, we're discussing the land purchase and details of that, or finer details. The development will give the fishermen a much better opportunity to sell their catch, get better value. It'll also, for visitors and the local community, to enjoy fresh fish, to be able to come down the quayside and see the fishermen working. It's fantastic, yeah.